Hello, and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest gaming news, rumors, and speculation. Starfield news is going crazy because Bethesda finally broke that silence yesterday by not only giving us another small Starfield gameplay trailer, but on top of that, finally giving us Starfield's release date and also the date for the next major Starfield showcase. I broke all that down in yesterday's video, and I do have a very in-depth analysis of that gameplay coming very soon as well. But today, I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, another thing that's been going viral since the Starfield trailer yesterday, which is the Starfield delay, because originally Bethesda said that we would get Starfield within the first 6 months of 2023, which, for those of you who know how calendars work, is between January and June. However, that Starfield release date ended up being 3 months late outside of this original release date window, meaning September 6th, 2023. And while 3 months isn't a giant period of time, it is still technically a delay, and in yesterday's video I said it wasn't really a delay. I'm going to correct myself by saying I was wrong. I think I was just a little too excited in yesterday's video and wanted to take the focus away from any potential negativity and instead just celebrate and be positive, but no, it is a delay, and it does kind of suck. But really, does it really suck all that much? I want to talk about this in today's video and give you my take on all of this. So first of all, there is an obvious bias some people believe I may have regarding Bethesda. I am a pretty die-hard Bethesda fan. I've been a huge fan of Bethesda since I played Morrowind a long time ago. I went back and I played Daggerfall, I played Oblivion, Fallout 3, just basically name any Bethesda Game Studios game or any Bethesda Softworks game, and I've probably played it and loved it. So I can understand why you think I may have a Bethesda bias, but for those of you who are OG viewers of my channel who have been watching me for years, you should know that I do call out Bethesda when they deserve it. So the real question is, does Bethesda deserve to be called out for this new delay? My answer is yes and no, and this answer isn't going to come from a die-hard Bethesda fan. Instead, this is coming from somebody who is going to try to have a neutral perspective on things, because that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to try to be neutral about all this, despite my bias some people may think I have for Bethesda. First of all, Starfield is my dream game, and it's Todd Howard's dream game, so that's awesome that Todd and I have been having the same dreams. Weird that we haven't run across each other in Dreamland at all, but nonetheless, I am super hyped for Starfield. I've been hyped for Starfield since we discovered the Starfield trademark many years ago. But the thing is, there is something wrong here, and that is communication. Microsoft and Bethesda seemed like they were very confident with Starfield's original release date of 11/11/22. Todd Howard even said that that original release date was written in ink during an IGN interview with Ryan McCaffrey, but it turns out that must have been erasable spy ink or something, because that didn't happen. Microsoft also seemed to be pretty confident with Bethesda's progress on Starfield, and then all of a sudden, the game was delayed shortly after that E3 release date announcement. So there is obviously a huge flaw within Bethesda and Microsoft's communication, and that flaw seems to be tied with them being overconfident. This is usually why you shouldn't release a date for the game unless you are 100% certain that the game will come out on that date. And for Starfield to be delayed like longer than a big 6-month period, that's pretty nuts. It's almost a year of a delay since the original November release date, because originally it was supposed to come out by June, and now it's coming out in September. That's just 2 months short of a year from November of last year. So clearly, Bethesda made a big oopsie-doopsie stairs here, and they shouldn't have been so confident last year. Now, the other side of the coin is a delayed game is always a better game, so we do have to give Bethesda props for taking the L not only once, but twice by delaying this game to make sure by the time it gets to us, it is free of all those old-fashioned Bethesda bugs that we either love or hate. Starfield is most likely the largest game Bethesda Game Studios has ever made. It'll have the most content ever, and despite the fact that it does have a large amount of procedural generation, when you take all the handcrafted areas, all the handcrafted assets of Starfield, it will still be much bigger than anything we've seen before from Bethesda Game Studios. So, not only is this Bethesda Game Studios' biggest game ever, it's also their first new IP in over 25 years. It's also their first new true single-player RPG of this console generation. I was gonna call it next gen, but can we really even call it next gen anymore? This generation has been out for a while now. That's how late Bethesda is with this game. And on top of that, it is Todd Howard's dream game and a dream game of many other developers over at Bethesda Game Studios. So clearly they want to go the extra mile to make sure that by the time we get this game in our hands, it's as polished and bug-free and full of as much content as possible, because in the past, Bethesda has cut a lot of content from their games prior to release. One of the first mods that come out for Bethesda games tends to be a cutting room floor mod. For example, Fallout 4 had a cutting room floor mod, Skyrim had a cutting room floor mod, and what these mods entail are returning a lot of the cut content Bethesda removed from the game before release. Skyrim's cutting room floor mod has entire villages, entire quest lines, hundreds of NPCs basically, that were all removed from the game prior to launch for whatever reason, either because they couldn't balance them with gameplay, or they added too many bugs, so they felt like just removing them was the better option. I have a very good feeling that is not going to be the case for Starfield. If there is any cut content from this game, it's going to be very minimal compared to their past releases. So we do have to take all this into consideration before we try to type up some clickbait articles, before we try to put a Bethesda bad, Starfield delayed again, what are they doing YouTube video title up there like I've seen a lot of people do. We have to try to be balanced with this, because there's a lot of Bethesda lovers, a lot of Bethesda haters, but at the end of the day, all these different people on each extreme side of the fence are using their extreme bias, whether it's good or bad, to project their opinions. Which brings me back to my original point. Is a 3-month delay outside of their original release date window worth crying about? Not really. It does suck that we have to wait a long period of time for Starfield, in fact 3 months longer, but I'll take 90 days for a better game, for a more polished game, rather than I would just want Bethesda to release it now with bugs and problems. Usually it's up to the modders to fix these problems within the first few months after the game releases, and I don't think that's going to have to be the case with Starfield. Will there be bugs? Sure, it's a gigantic game. It's almost impossible to release a game as large as Starfield without some issues, but the amount of hate I've seen Bethesda getting for this additional delay is a little ridiculous, in my opinion. People are going to complain if we don't hear anything about Starfield from Bethesda. People are going to complain if we do get the release date. People are going to complain if we get the game released too early and there's bugs. People are going to complain if the game is released too late. So, at one point in time, is all this complaining, like, logical? Not necessarily. Starfield is a highly anticipated game, so I get it. I get the fact that people are excited for it and passionate about it, whether it's passionate hate or passionate love. But at the end of the day, we have to calm down. We have to let Bethesda take their time with this game to make sure it releases in the best state as possible, because Bethesda clearly loves this game and they want it to do very well. If Bethesda wanted to just grab money from their community, just wring us out like a wet towel to get as much money as possible, they would have released this game back in November. But no, they delayed it for an additional 7 months, and then on top of that, another 3 months until September. So yes, it sucks. Delays are never good, but delays are usually good because it results in a better product. Do I think Starfield is going to get delayed again beyond September? Absolutely not. I will bet all 58,000 of my testicles that the game will not get delayed again, and we will be playing it in September. But as always, what I want to know is, what do you think about all this? Let me know what you think about this additional Starfield delay down in the comments below. Are you disappointed, or do you understand why it happened? And as always, huge major shout out to the following amazing people for going above above and beyond to support the channel and the community. If you want to get a permanent future video shout out, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member or via Super Thanks. Links for all this and more are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching.
It just works.